right, so Stormy Girl, um, this whole campaign has really caused me to reflect deeply on the impact of Stormy's life on me personally. I was telling somebody today that Stormy was like a daughter to me. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own like human kids, but losing Stormy has really left a hole in me. And I can only imagine what it must be like to be a mother and have human kids that you lose when they're young. Because I know that losing Stormy really caused a lot of feelings for me and a lot of sadness. And when I think of her, I can't help but weep. Like tears just come to my eyes. Stormy was a Maine Anjou calf. She was a beautiful little girl that came to us from a breeder that didn't want to see her euthanized or slaughtered. She was blind. She was born to a cow. They called her Big Mama. And Big Mama couldn't nurse Stormy, and for some reason, Stormy went septic, and the toxicity went to her eyes and blinded her. And so when Stormy came to us, she was frail. She had no strength in her legs. She was blind. She was a baby, and she needed constant attention and care. And without somebody willing to spend the time with her, she would have died, in just a matter of weeks. I took the time, 2 hours at least a day, to just nurture Stormy. Not only did I bottle feed her twice a day, but I also spent the time to help her get strong. I would cut my arms underneath her little body and stand over her and lift her and let her muscles understand how to fire on their own, because she had no strength at all in her legs. She was so weak. And eventually, doing that, she started to stand. And then she started taking little baby steps. And eventually, I took a halter and a lead, and I started taking baby steps with her. And I let her lead. She showed me how far she was willing to go. And Stormy Girl was a little fighter. She wanted to be a big girl. And I remember after, 30 or 40 days of just meditating with her, actually. Being with Stormy was like a walking meditation. I would walk with her, and after about 30 or 40 days, she kind of like told me, "Okay, Mom, I'm good. You can let go of the rope." And I let go of the rope, and my heart skipped a beat, and Stormy kept walking. And she was able to maneuver around the places that I had taught her were obstacles. She found the hay, and after about another 2 or 3 weeks, I remember walking with her side by side, and I remember feeling her tell me, "Okay, Mom, you can go in the house now, I'm good." And so I looked at Stormy, and I turned around, I walked into the house, and I kept looking at her when I was walking away, and she was good. And I got to the kitchen window, and I looked outside, and Stormy was walking over towards Cinnamon and Fireball and Rowdy Girl, and she was hanging out with the big girls. She had indeed become part of the herd. And all it took was a willingness to spend time, to nurture, to care, to protect. And losing her during that first hurricane, or the aftermath of the 2016 hurricane, was as traumatic as I can't even explain to you how traumatic, honestly, because I had to experience the Texas A&M food system. That's what they called the animals that were treated in the big animal department at Texas A&M. They called them food animals. And so I had many of a discussion with the doctors and the vet techs on why Stormy was not food. I told them her story. I told them the story of Rowdy Girl. And I refused to sign the invoice. After Stormy passed away from pneumonia, we had to euthanize her, and she passed away in my arms. I remember telling the administrative department, sitting there saying, I won't pay this until you take food animal department off of this invoice. And they said to me, well, that's in the system. It's set up that way. And I said, well, then figure out how to change the system on this invoice. And they did. They changed the system on that invoice. It was a lot of red tape. But you know what? If we don't change the system, animals like Stormy will forever be treated like food. And while our end of year campaign is coming to a close, I'm asking all of you to donate in memory of Stormy Girl. One day, I hope to have a vet care vegan facility that will properly care for farm animals the way they should be treated, with vegan vets, with vegan technicians. On the way home from Texas A&M, the day Stormy passed away, I was in tears, and I made her that promise. I made her a promise that I would one day have a facility in her name. And this hay barn and shelter is a beginning, because at Welder, we are in need of structures big time. And this is just a step in the direction of getting the structures we need to one day have a vet care facility in memory of Stormy. Peace out. Please donate.